I would listen to these stories that it's harder for women, that we are not to be entrepreneur or not to do it. And I would say that it's the opposite. Men are people who have helped me the most. And women get amazed by that fact.
Welcome to another episode of The Empire Show. This is an inside look. My name is Bedros Keuilian, and today we've got a very special guest. She's not only a fitness influencer, she's a fitness entrepreneur and a mogul. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to The Empire Show Rosanna Queirolo. Rosanna, how are you?
Hi, Bedros. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Did I slaughter your last name? Can you say the proper last name?
Sort of. Queirolo.
Queirolo.
Rosanna Queirolo. It's an Italian name and an Italian last name.
Now,
I'm so happy to be here, by the way.
Thank you.
We've been, spending all day in this beautiful mentorship. So I want to thank you and congratulate you for all the things you are doing. You're rocking every day.
Thank you for that. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we've been doing the mentorship day today, and then of course the 2 days before that we did the Empire Mastermind. You and I met in Miami.
Right.
Now you are from Ecuador and you live in Ecuador, right? And when we met, I didn't really know what you did because...
It was so funny. Remember how we met? We met at this place this Friday night. Yes. I didn't know you were Bedros. You didn't know who obviously I was. And we started talking.
Yeah.
And then next day, I realized who you were.
And then I realized who you were. So I was out there in Miami speaking at an event, and of course you had come out because they had invited you to come out there.
Right.
And the host of the event...
At the Conclave of Warriors.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Rafa and his wife invited us all to the Conclave of Warriors, but the day before the event, we went, it was like an art show or something.
Yeah, it was sort of a mix.
Yeah, but it was also like a nightclub kind of deal.
And then we went to have dinner, remember, to a beautiful restaurant.
Mm-hmm. So it was
like
definitely
15 people.
Yeah, that was the night Steve took us out to dinner, right? And so anyway, the bottom line is that as I met Rosanna, I got to learn so much about what you do. And first I thought you're a fitness influencer. Then I thought, well, you own this fitness brand of digital coaching platform, right? And then I learned about your apparel line. Then I learned about your Sauna brand, which the Sauna brand is a really big umbrella that has a lot of products and services. Tell us about that.
Actually, Sana are the last 5 letters of my name, which means healthy in Spanish. So Rosanna is raw and healthy.
Sana.
So I used that to make it a brand, and I start selling food products. I sell these 4 different food products in the biggest supermarket chain in Ecuador. That's how I started. Then I got into the fitness world and the health coaching world since I became a health and fitness coach.
Yeah.
Now I have this digital platform that we were talking about, which is called SanaFit by Movistar, which is one of the biggest mobile companies in Ecuador.
So let me just dive into that for a second. I want to take our audience on a...
I know you love that because it's a recurring revenue.
Yeah.
And you love that.
Exactly. Yeah. As you know, I'm a big fan of recurring revenue, right?
Yeah.
Selling once and getting paid over and over again.
Right.
And you don't just have a couple hundred or a couple thousand, you have 180,000 people.
Actually, I just found out that we have 200,000.
200,000 people on recurring revenue.
Right.
Now, in case you think I'm making a mistake here, folks, I'm not. It's 200,000 people who are paying
in a very small country. I wish I was here.
Yeah. And the way you did this...
Imagine.
Could you imagine that? But the way you did this was by partnering with the second largest mobile phone company, right?
Right.
So how did this partnership, well, first of all, let's talk about what is the product that the company is selling, the service is selling, that you're doing a revenue share with?
Okay, I made up this product from scratch. I really am into this thing of transforming lives.
Yeah.
So I thought, what if I, through videos, teach people or show people how to eat, how to do exercise, tips, nutritional tips, and all that. And I came up with this idea to this mobile company, and they bought it. Immediately they said, we love that idea.
Really?
It was like this. It took me literally like 2 weeks. Then I got this appointment with these people, and they said, okay, let's do it, and we start building it. And they wanted so fast that it was like 45 days, and I was in the business.
Is it because they saw the vision of what it could be, or did you have a connection?
I think they saw it because the other company that competes with them were doing sort of a thing like that, but
Gotcha.
not exactly.
Yeah.
So I came up with this idea that was much better. It was improved, and I had the credibility since I'm a health and fitness coach. So I thought, people love me. People know that I'm not gonna lie to them. People know that I know the stuff. So I think it's gonna work.
That's fascinating.
So they bought it, and
Now,
yeah.
when you negotiated this deal with the mobile phone company, did you have the product already, or did you then go and find a developer?
No. We found immediately the developer that was the biggest and the best in Ecuador.
Yeah.
And we started working like 1 week later. I start, doing these videos that are exclusive for them. I cannot put them in my social media.
I see. So it's very exclusive for that service.
Yeah, and besides that, we put content every day, and every day I upload one video. So it's a lot of work as well. And I upload my magazine that is called Sana as well. I have the digital magazine and the physical magazine. So I have like a beautiful content that people can, it's very cheap. For 45 cents a day, $1 a week, or $3 a month, you can have all you want.
That. But you've got such a big audience on the
Right,
program.
right.
That's how you make your money.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm trying to go to different countries with this same company, Peru and Argentina, but it's not easy.
Sure.
So I'm working on that.
So I have a question, because I'm sure the audience is thinking, how in the world do I, like, for example, we have Sprint, we have Verizon here, we have T-Mobile. How does somebody go and pitch them? How do you even find the right person to make the offer, to make the pitch to?
In Ecuador, everything is easier for me since I'm a personality and everybody knows me since forever, 20 years.
Gotcha.
So if I, ask them to listen to me, or I can even go to the president of the company, of any company, and they will at least listen to me.
Just so you know, I can't do that. Like, no one, like nobody would listen to me if I went to the president of any company.
But nothing is easy in life, you know that.
Yeah.
So this thing is not easy, because every time I have to keep reinventing myself and all the things that I have to say, and and the material has to be every time better and better, because competition is going after us.
Sure. So let me ask you this then. I'm sure someone's wondering, because I'm wondering, all right, so because you're well known in the health and fitness space in Ecuador, you can pretty much call on anyone and they'll take the meeting. How do you become known in such a loud, noisy space like health and fitness? What did you do to build
My whole life, I've been in the fitness. I've loved nutrition and fitness, but I didn't have the credentials. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a commercial engineer. I'm a family therapist. Then I start writing my book, Así de Sana, Así de Simple, which means so healthy, so simple, which is an autobiographic. Is that how you
Autobiography?
say it? Yeah.
Of
book
your life?
of my life experiencing nutrition and fitness.
Got it.
And then I end up with 100 recipes that I, do at home and eat and all that. And Penguin Random House, like the biggest editor house in the world, bought the rights of the book.
Really?
Yes. And I'll launch it in the States, in Colombia, and of course in Ecuador. What were we talking about? Why I came up talking about the book?
Wait a minute, you got me there. So Penguin Random House, you launched it already in the States?
In Miami, yeah.
In Miami?
Last year, yeah.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to you just blew me out. I always learn something new about this one. Like, just when you say, okay.
So many things.
We
can stay here all day.
All right, so let's start here. So when you wrote this book,
I was not a health coach. I became a health coach right in the middle of the writing of the book. The thing is that I wanted to launch it in the university that I was studying. There was a program how to write a book. So I said, oh, why not? I want to have a book. Who doesn't?
Sure.
But then I had like a meeting in Mexico with this Penguin Random House editor house, to say it. And they knew about that I was writing this book, and the president for Latin America told me, Rosanna, we know that you're doing this book. We want to know what is it about. Send us the index and the first and second chapters. And I said, oh, but my idea was to launch it with the university. And he said, wait a minute, we're talking big here, so forget about it and do it with us. So I said yes, we were signing the contract like a couple of months ago, and they gave me deadlines and everything. And
gotcha.
I was scared as hell.
So wait a minute, you're not an author by trade, but you wrote a book. You obviously, originally, what I'm hearing you say is you weren't a health and fitness coach.
When I was starting to become a health coach.
But before that, what did you do? Did I hear therapy or something? A therapist?
Family therapist and a commercial engineer.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was in the fitness and
Rosanna,
nutrition.
you're just brushing over that. I got to stop you for a second. A commercial engineer?
Yeah, forget about it.
Turned family therapist?
Yeah, but I'm an entrepreneur, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But family therapist, I only did it for my family. I have 4 kids, imagine. They're full, the 4 of them are, brilliant.
Is there anything that you think, like, I'm going to go do that and then decide, no, I'm not going to do it? Like, do you think you can do anything you want?
Yes.
Absolutely. This whole podcast needs to be about this one thing. Like, here's a woman who believes that she can do whatever the fuck she wants, and whether it's commercial engineer, whether, hey, I'm going to go become a family therapist because I've got a family, and, well, they're probably going to need therapy because all families need some kind of therapy and management. And then I guess I'm going to go to university and become a health coach. And I think I'd like to write a book because who doesn't want to write a book? And I think I'm going to.
I'm also a CPT. I graduated from the National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Sure, of course you did.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, I mean, Primo's laughing back. Of course, like, what else are you, right? Like, yeah.
That's it, I swear.
So here's really what I want. Okay, you're obviously amazing at what you do. You've got.
I love reading. I love studying. I love, reading about what I like. Keeping up with everything. You never finish or end up learning.
Yeah.
So that's what I believe. I believe that we have to keep learning every day.
Who instilled this entrepreneurial spirit in you?
I don't know. My father, I come from a military father. He's dead right now, but he was an awesome man. And my mother was Miss Ecuador. So imagine that mix. And I hate all this, contests and beauty contests. I just hate it. At one point, I don't know why I was not a man. I was the oldest,
really?
the responsible, the one that had to have the best grades and do everything perfect.
Yeah.
And I was always focused on what I wanted since I was little.
But you're so driven. Where does this drive, determination, confidence come from that says, I can write a book, I can be an engineer, I can be a therapist, I can be a certified personal trainer, a health coach, I can start a magazine, I can create a food line, I can create digital products. Where does someone get this confidence? Because in the entrepreneurial space, there's hardly any women. And then there's a woman like you, there's Sarah Blakely, who are absolutely dominating. What's the secret?
I cannot tell you a secret. What I can tell you is that nothing has been easy for me in life. I was married, I got divorced, I had 4 kids, and I had to get the money to, to have my kids well, because their father is a millionaire, he has a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I have to keep it up and have them with me. In order to have them with me, I have to work and
provide
earn money. Yeah.
Yeah. But there is this drive that you have
all the time.
That when someone meets you, they don't know until they start scratching the surface and learn more and more about you.
Yeah, I don't like talk about what I do because people got like scared, or I don't know.
Do you think it intimidates people?
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah. Yeah. So I will pick like one brand. I will say, okay, yeah, I have a fashion line, for example. And then if they keep, asking me, then I will go to the next level, to the next level. But
I think that's what you did with me, because I remember I said, well, what do you do? And I think you told me about, correct me if I'm wrong, was it a high protein ice cream?
Yes,
right?
One of my products is,
right.
it's a bestseller in Ecuador.
Of course it is. I mean, why wouldn't it be? Duh, right?
But it has a special formula that is high in protein, has no sugar, and has stevia in it. Lactose-free, sodium-free. So it's a boom. Everybody wants to taste it and have it at home, yeah.
And so I remember you told me about that first, and that was already impressive. And then towards the end of the night, you told me about the fashion brand. And then you said your daughter runs that.
Yes.
How old is your daughter who's running a fashion brand for you?
She's 28 years old.
28 years old. And just so you guys know, if you're watching this on video, I highly recommend maybe following Rosanna on Instagram, because you do post pictures of you and your daughter, and you guys look like you're twins. Yeah, so you've done a great job.
Because we also have I'm sorry, but we also have a collaboration with Disney International.
With Disney International?
Yes.
Of course you do. Folks, I'm sitting here with a mogul who's one of the most humble, down-to-earth people I've, honestly, truly.
I just love what I do. Yeah, I just love what I do.
Okay, how do you even start this relationship with Disney International?
They were collaborating with different personalities in different countries, like with Giselle Bündchen in Brazil, with Coach in the States, Victoria Beckham in England, and they were looking at this small country in Latin America, and they picked Ecuador. And then they found out about Rosanna Queirolo, that has another fashion line called Blush that was a success in Ecuador, and they said, okay, so this is it. She's the one who we want to work with.
That's the name of your fashion line, Blush?
This is the Disney by Rosanna Queirolo, with Disney. And Blush by Rosanna Queirolo is my brand.
Your brand, got you, that's amazing. So what does your normal day look like? Obviously, how many kids do you have?
4, but they don't live with me.
Right.
Adults. They are adults. They live in the States, actually. They live here. They are happy here.
What does your average day look like, considering
I wake
all the
up at
different
5:30.
Okay.
At the gym, it's pretty close to my house, so 6:10, 6:05, 6:05. I love training, so I would stay there until forever, 8:15, 8:30. And then I go home, have breakfast, no rush. I'll be at the office at 10:30 in a normal day. And then I'll stay there, have appointments, and receive people, and be there until 6 p.m. in a normal day.
Yeah. But
normally, I'm not in the office because I'm traveling, or I have to go to another city in the country. It's never the same. It's never the same. But I love being in my city.
And how many people work for you in your company, or your companies?
Well, that's a hard question, because I have a restaurant, 3 restaurants that I call that are called Gourmet Market.
The title of this episode is going to be "Of Course You Do." Yeah, I love this. This is great.
It's a slow food restaurant. I started with my husband.
Slow food, as in the opposite of fast food.
Slow food, right? Yeah, it's a market where you can go and pick the food from the menu, or you can grab and go, or ask for delivery. And it's a beautiful place, and it's inspired in New York, 1920.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the genre of the restaurant.
Yeah.
And so you have 3 restaurants. How? I mean, I'm sure they have employees, and your companies have employees.
50 in that, those 3 restaurants. 50 people. Yeah. 50 people. General manager, and I don't worry much about it, because my husband is on top of the financial things and all that, but I own half of it.
And what about
it's an important business for me.
What about the fashion brand, and of course the digital brand?
And the fashion brand is run by my daughter.
Yeah.
She lives here in the States, so I would do 10% of my time to that. I'm the creative director of that brand, those 2, Disney and Blush. And then I focus on Sana, the digital platform is pretty important for me.
Sure, and it's got a pretty big.
And I also have the magazine that is called Sana, which I'm the editor. So I have to check all the content.
Is it a physical magazine, like
yes.
an actual that gets delivered to people's homes?
Yeah, and this magazine is also uploaded to the Sanafit platform.
Gotcha.
We were talking about.
We were talking about. I don't even know where to start with you. Like I've got a million questions, and I'm looking at the clock, but I've got to ask these questions. So we're going to go a little over here. The Sana brand. Mm-hmm. You obviously, as you launch a fashion or food or the digital, you have people who work for you. You obviously have employee problems. You have a leadership team.
2,000 people work for me directly or indirectly. Mostly indirectly, because I work with 25 factories in Ecuador.
But obviously there's problems. Like, how do you deal with problems in the digital space, the fashion space, the food space?
I have like 100 chats, group chats with each factory. And I have to read everything, even though I don't solve all the problems. I have to, keep up with every detail that is happening.
And then do you delegate the problem to someone in your leadership team?
Right, yeah. I have a person that is coordinating everything. My daughter is on top of the design group, and everything is organized because I started as an entrepreneur with this brand. Yeah. So it's like my little baby that I cannot get rid of it.
And how long have you had the Sana brand?
Sana brand, less than 5 years, probably 4 years.
So it grew pretty quickly in that time.
Yes.
Very quickly.
Everything, I started as an entrepreneur in 2011 with the Blush brand.
And what were you doing before 2011?
I was in politics.
Of course you were.
I was elected as an assemblywoman to write the Constitution only for 8 months. And that was a huge, different thing for me because I came from communications. I was an anchor.
Do not laugh. Like, I feel like the joke's on me right now. You were a news anchor.
Yeah, I was a news anchor.
Yeah.
And then I transitioned to politics, and then I became an entrepreneur.
We just need to clone you. We need like 1,000 of you.
I know, please do.
Right, so
I do need that too.
Let me ask you a question, and this is in all seriousness. Like, so many women listen to the Empire podcast show.
Right.
They want to become entrepreneurs. They have low confidence, or they think it's a man's world, the entrepreneurial space. And I believe,
not at all.
Exactly. I believe women have the biggest advantage and have a tremendous amount of focus, way more than men, and they can finish and follow through. What would you say to these women who either have a lack of confidence as an entrepreneur or feel that it's a man's world?
I would listen to these stories that it's harder for women, that we are not to be entrepreneur or not to do it. And I would say that it's the opposite. Men are people who have helped me the most. And women get amazed by that fact.
Yeah.
Especially right now that men are
right.
Yeah.
The Me Too movement.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
The Me Too movement. But I've been helped for men mostly all the time. I mean, like, men like to help women to be successful. And obviously, you have to work. You have to be focused. You have to know what you want. You have to get surrounded by positive people that knows probably better than you in some areas. I keep telling my team, I don't know about this. You are the ones who have to tell me how to do it. Don't expect that I have to know everything. Like 7, 8, how many years? 8 years?
2011,
yeah.
8 years, yeah.
8 years of keep learning.
What were some of the biggest problems you encountered as you started as an entrepreneur?
Everything. I didn't know anything. Nobody showed me everything. Nobody showed me anything. It was like I started Blush by myself. It was one person. And then I grew so fast because people would want my brand so much.
What did you do to get your first customer for Blush?
Oh no, I started partnering with the biggest department store in Ecuador. That's why I do it.
So here's a
I
lesson.
thought it was going to be like easier.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everything was on top of me. It was the hardest thing, why?
Overwhelming.
Yeah, it was overwhelming.
Did you ever think of quitting?
I never think of quitting. Never, ever.
Never. What about you makes you so driven and relentless? I've thought about
probably
quitting.
Sports. I've done 3 marathons, 42. You've done one. I was a triathlete as well, and I've done sports all the time, and I do know how to deal with people. I think that people you can learn so much from people.
Sure.
Even talking to I love talking to anyone.
Huh.
You've known me in that,
Yeah.
I would just go and say, hey, what's your name? What do you do? And I've had surprises just doing that.
So what I'm really learning here is that, one, you are a big thinker. Like in the mentorship group that we were talking about, where you said, start
Definitely.
small, think big, scale fast. And that's
Right.
a Jesse Itzler line. And by the way, you guys all need to, listening to this, you ought to go back and listen to Jesse's podcast we did. But if it starts small, think big, you are truly a big thinker. I mean, you started the Blush brand, and you weren't thinking about selling it out of the trunk of your car. You went right to the biggest department store in Ecuador.
And you know what I did?
What?
And this is funny. I called the president. He didn't answer, obviously, because he didn't have my phone. I left him a message, and I said, Andy, this is Rosanna Queirolo. I want to propose you like a deal that I think is going to be good for you.
But he had no idea who you are.
He had obviously.
Okay,
he knew, but he didn't have my phone.
Got it.
So he called me back like in 10 minutes, and he said, what is your idea? And I told him, you need to, it's going to be the first time that a personality has a fashion line in a huge department store. And you don't have it, and you have to be the first one. And he said, I'm in. What do I have to do? So
and now that's actually
how
a
it
thing.
started.
I mean, now so many personalities have brands in stores.
So many,
right?
and
But
I love it. It's like, I don't see it as a competition.
Yeah.
I see that I got, I inspired so many designers to do it, because mostly in Ecuador, these fashion designers would like to sell to elite people very expensive clothing. Since I was in politics and I love being surrounded by people, I wanted, like everybody has my brand. You can buy it from $20 to $50 and have a blouse or shoes or
Wow, that's
very
amazing.
affordable. Yeah.
And so the big lesson I'm learning here is that you're not afraid to think big and take big actions.
No, I love it.
You're not afraid of rejection. Have you ever been rejected in a business deal? Like, no, thank you, we don't want to work with you?
I guess yes, but I keep trying. It's like if I have 20 ideas, probably 5 would work, or 2 or 1, I don't care.
Yeah.
I keep, having ideas and making up things.
And so when an idea fails or gets rejected, it doesn't bother you?
No, not at all.
What about you gives you that confidence? So obviously
It's hard.
sports, fitness, right? That builds confidence.
Yeah, it's, raising 4 kids by my own gives you confidence.
Sure.
It's like you have to go out and earn the world.
Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. Yeah.
Good for you. Good
Yeah.
for you. What is next for you? Do you plan on bringing your brand to the United States? I know one of your brands are obviously out here, but are you bringing more of the Sana brand into the States?
I'd love to. I know it's hard, but I'd love to do it.
What needs to happen?
Being with you.
We're going to partner on the Sana brand. I love that. I love that. But deep down inside, I know that's a pitch. Like, I know I'm being offered a pitch right now. I know how you operate. And folks, whether you're listening to this or watching this right now, like, that's exactly how you operate. You have to do that.
Right.
And again, when we were in the mentorship room, in the other room there.
What's the worst thing that would happen?
That's it. What's the worst thing that's going to happen?
No,
right?
That's it.
I love the way you think and process. Guys, whether male, female, it doesn't matter. If you're an entrepreneur, one, do the Jesse Itzler move, which is start small, think big, scale fast. Number 2, go right to the biggest person in your industry at the top. Like, why
Don't lose time.
Don't lose time, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you get rejected, big deal. You said, if I come up with 20 ideas, if 5 work, 2 work, 1 work, that's okay.
Yeah.
All right?
That's it.
And so, how important is your personal routine, your life routine, your health for your sanity? Because you're pretty busy.
Yeah, it's so important. It's like if I don't wake up at 5:30, I would feel that I missed the whole day. And time for me is treasure.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I have all my week organized, all my month organized, every day organized.
That was my next question. So you don't just go next day, you got the next week, the month organized.
Right. And even what I'm going to wear the next day for the gym, I already know what I'm wearing, the shoes, the food, everything. I have it all set so that I don't lose time.
That's brilliant. I mean, how precious is time, right? I mean, we only have so much time and that's it. Rosanna, what should I have asked you that I haven't asked you that would benefit our audience?
Probably what's my mission in life.
What is your mission in life?
I would love to keep transforming people's lives, especially women, empower them, and create a butterfly effect that transform other people's life, giving them the tools to become healthier, happier, and have longer lives.
Why is that so important to you?
I don't know. You keep asking me questions that I don't know. It's like a necessity, a need that I have to share all my knowledge and
like
all
I want
the
to find
things
what
that
drives
have
you.
worked for me.
There's something that drives you, and I want to find out what drives you, because all you know is you. But I want you to tell. I want you to know, and I say this with the most amount of compliment. Like,
Probably
you're not normal. You're not normal.
God has been so nice with me that I feel the need to share what He's given me to the rest of the world.
And do you believe that's part of the secret? The more you give, the more you get?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And
I don't fear competition. I don't fear anyone. If negative people come to me, I will just edit, avoid it, and keep going.
Good for you.
I won't read negative things or anything. I won't lose time.
I love the way you think and operate. Now, if our listeners, viewers want to learn more about you, how can they connect with you or follow you?
I love Instagram.
Yeah.
So I'm in Instagram, like, this is my name, Rosanna Queirolo, at Rosanna Queirolo. And also.
And by the way, is this book available on Amazon?
Yes, the digital one.
Really?
Yeah.
On Kindle, the digital version?
Uh-huh.
That's great. And so they can follow you on Instagram.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Yep.
And I'm going to really put you on the spot here in a way, but it's no different than how you just put me on the spot. If there's a woman entrepreneur, a female entrepreneur out there who has a great idea, and they're like, you know what, I think I'm going to pitch her. Would you be open to listening to a pitch? Like, should they DM you? Should they reach out to you? What's the best way for someone to approach you with the pitch that's going to increase the chances?
I wouldn't partner with anyone because I don't believe, I haven't had good experiences with partnering or trying to partner with someone, but I love helping. Any idea that I can give, phone numbers, anything that I could help, I would do it.
Good for you. Wow. Rosanna.
And I answer all the DMs from old people.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going to DM her tonight and see if she answers. Rosanna, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you, Bedros.
Folks, be sure, 1, get the book. Number 2, follow Rosanna. And if you are specifically a female entrepreneur, like I want more high-achieving female entrepreneurs on this show, on the Empire Show. And for that to happen, you've got to adopt the mindset that she has. Start small, think big, scale fast, be willing to let rejection roll off your back, and don't even think twice about it. Best of all, she said it best, you avoid negativity, you edit toxic people out of your life.
Right.
And you focus on your health and fitness and your time, because that's all you really have at the end of the day.
Right.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show. We appreciate you.
I enjoy it a lot.
Folks, if you got a lot of value from this show, be sure to give us a 5-star rating, leave a comment on Stitcher, on iTunes, and of course, take a screenshot and be sure to tag me, tag Rosanna, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks so much for being here for today's Empire Podcast Show. We would love for you to do a quick little favor for us. Just go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating, leave a comment, share it with your friends. And if you're interested in growing your business faster, go to bedroskeuilian.com/empire, fill out the application to see if you're a good fit for our Empire Mastermind group.